There would be no Vincent van Gogh without Johanna van Gogh Bangers. Johanna Bangers married Vincent's brother, Theo van Gogh. Theo was an art dealer, and Theo worked very hard to ensure that Vincent was taken care of. I mean, she lived with the presence of Vincent. In February 1888, Van Gogh moved to Arles. He wanted a break from the north. He was seeking an area that would reinvigorate his health, and he was drawn to the warmth of the Provençal landscape. Meules de Bleuet was painted when Van Gogh was living in Arles. This period ushered in a renewed interest in drawing. It unleashed in him a fervent outpouring of works on paper. One of the reasons that drawing was so prevalent in this period is also practical. Simply put, watercolor is less expensive than paint. With watercolor, he had a lot more freedom. He had a lot more freedom to experiment, to make mistakes, to try things over and over again. And it really, you see a great creative spirit and a freedom in his works on paper from this period. It's quite rare to see a watercolor of this quality and that is so well preserved in a private collection. Van Gogh suffered 2 rather severe mental breakdowns, and so he checked himself in to a mental asylum in Saint-Rémy. And it was a moment where Van Gogh really turned inward and had a sense of solace that he had been missing when he was staying in Arles. Cabanes was painted in Saint-Rémy. When he's in Saint-Rémy, he becomes more expressionistic. It becomes much more a creation from the artist's mind. He is not using colors that he's necessarily seeing in front of him. It incorporates the sinewy, snaky, swirling brushwork that we associate with this period. It's really Van Gogh at his finest. Vincent moved to Auvers in May 1890 in order to seek out the specialization and help of Dr. Gogh, who was a homeopathic specialist and an art collector whom Theo had recommended to Vincent for treatment. Jeune Homme was painted in the penultimate month of Van Gogh's life. He was living in Auvers. He was surrounded by people again after having been rather isolated in Saint-Rémy, and he had really returned to portraiture. He did a whole series of children, of which Jeune Homme is one of. He found a sort of innocence, a vitality, a raw energy in children that was, I think, very therapeutic to him at the time. It's one of a whole series from this year, from the end of his life. I think looking at Jeune Homme, it's quite moving. It's quite bittersweet. It's actually heartbreaking in a way. Vincent passed away in July 1890. Less than 6 months later, in January 1891, Theo passed away. And through that, Yo inherited a trove of 400 paintings and hundreds of drawings. The Van Goghs in the Cox Collection chronicle the artist's life. All of these works were inherited by Yo. I think that the genius of Yo lies in the way she promoted Vincent to the world. It was her idea to package the man and the inner psychology of the man as an artist with the works. So when she was promoting Vincent, she promoted who he was, his troubles, this idea of the tortured genius artist. The fact that this individual who lived this way during his life is now one of the most universally celebrated and popular artists in the entire world is extraordinary. How did people get to know him? It's really in large part thanks to the efforts of Johanna.